Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a profoundly mystical concept, and we're looking at it through a really unique lens. We're going to explore how divine inspiration doesn't just happen randomly, it actually acts incredibly like a high-level cosmic operating system. If you've ever felt entirely disconnected or just stuck in a prolonged low-energy state, the ancient Kabbalistic texts we're unpacking today hold what is literally the ultimate troubleshooting guide.
So let's jump right into this absolutely beautiful quote from the Zohar. It says, O kihi roach Yaakov, and the spirit of Jacob lived. Now this line from Parashat Vayechi isn't just a nice poetic sentiment. It marks the exact moment a 22-year cosmic glitch was finally resolved. Think about that. For over 2 decades, the flow of divine inspiration to Jacob was completely shut down, offline. And with this one single phrase, the system suddenly comes back online.
I really want you to picture this vividly in your mind, like a cinematic 4K heritage scene. For 22 years, Jacob is completely shrouded in grief. His surroundings, his internal world, they're dim, restricted, fragmented. He is effectively running in a low-resolution, low-power mode. But the precise moment he hears his son Joseph is alive, joy rushes back in. Suddenly, blinding light floods the space like a high-definition reboot of reality itself. Harmony is instantly restored, and the Shekhinah, the divine presence, appears as this radiant energy. It dwells in that space because finally, fullness and unity have been achieved.
Which naturally brings us to the massive question framing our entire explainer today. How in the world could someone so spiritually advanced, arguably history's greatest spiritual master, lose the ultimate divine connection for over 2 decades? What is the actual mechanical secret behind the resting of the Shekhinah?
To figure that out, here is our diagnostic blueprint for today. 1. The fragmented patriarch. 2. The system integrity rule. 3. The mechanics of joy. 4. Colors of the soul. 5. Unlocking the cosmic network. And 6. Dwelling in complete harmony.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the fragmented patriarch.
If you look at the timeline of Jacob's spiritual life, the gap is staggering. The loss of Joseph wasn't just an emotional blow, it triggered a massive system crash. His profound grief was a literal disruption of cosmic flow, forcing his entire spiritual being into a 22-year period of deep sadness. In this specific state, the Shekhinah simply could not dwell. He was locked in a severe low-power mode. And the restoration of his joy upon hearing Joseph was alive, well, that was the exact reboot required to reopen the channel.
Let's dig deeper into the mechanics of that in Section 2, the system integrity rule.
To truly grasp this secret, or sod, we have to look at the Shekhinah through a cosmic engineering lens. It basically operates like a high-level cosmic operating system. Now, a highly advanced system requires absolute coherence and stability before it allows its highest-level processes to run and connect to the core network. Think about your smartphone or laptop. When it's fragmented or its battery is dying, what does it do? It dims the screen and completely disables advanced features to save energy. The divine presence works the same way. It requires 100% joyous stability. A fragmented state literally disables key spiritual features, whereas full optimization enables complete system presence.
What's really fascinating is how the ancient Kabbalistic texts use actual numbers to explain this engineering. It's literally a numbers game. The state of 2 represents the glitch of fragmentation. It's separation, it's brokenness, it's a lack of unity. Imagine an incomplete circuit. Power just can't flow. On the flip side, the number 10 represents the complete, perfectly optimized system where all the Sephirotic are working together flawlessly. This absolute wholeness is the mandatory prerequisite for the ultimate indwelling of the Shekhinah. Bottom line, you simply cannot run this advanced OS on a fragmented Level 2 system.
So how do we get the flow back? That brings us to Section 3, the mechanics of joy.
Let's map out the exhaustive mechanics of how energy actually flows through the Sephirotic, the divine attributes, when joy is finally restored. This is how the channel reopens. First, the energy starts at Bina, which handles deep emotional processing and understanding. Once the grief is processed there, the energy moves down to Tiferet, which is the center of harmony and balanced joy. From Tiferet, it flows directly into Yesod. Yesod acts as this crucial funnel, the direct channel for presence. And finally, that energy pools into Malchut, which is the ultimate physical dwelling place of the Shekhinah. It's a precise chain reaction, and if any of these steps are blocked by sadness, the flow stops entirely.
Honestly, think of this like a multi-generational video game. Imagine playing a character whose highest level abilities are completely locked out when their morale is low. You get no magic, no special powers, you're just stuck in basic survival mode.
But the exact moment their joy meter is fully restored and maxed out, boom, their ultimate abilities and highest connections are immediately activated. Jacob's joy meter was entirely depleted for 22 years. Because of that, his highest prophetic abilities were quite literally grayed out on his spiritual menu.
And the texts are incredibly rigidly strict about this rule. The gates of holiness and the Zohar stated explicitly, the Shekhinah does not rest in sadness. Serve God with joy. Sadness isn't just a bummer. It acts as a literal physical blocker to the divine network. Joy isn't just a nice warm feeling to have while you're trying to be spiritual. Joy is the absolute foundational prerequisite for spiritual function. Without it, the highest levels of the system just will not load.
Let's look at another way this is described in Section 4, Colors of the Soul.
The 16th century text, the Pardes Rimanim, uses a profound color shift to map out this exact internal transformation. Red represents din, or harsh judgment. This is the ultimate state of brokenness, sadness, restriction, and the complete disruption of spiritual flow. When Jacob was mourning, his internal system was completely stuck in the red. But when his joy was restored, there was an immediate structural shift to white. White signifies rachamim, mercy, expansiveness, joyous optimization, and the perfect welcoming of the divine presence. Shifting from red to white is the literal visual representation of a soul reboot.
Moving on to Section 5, Unlocking the Cosmic Network.
So, when we boil down the rules of this cosmic engineering, it's clear. Any lack, any doubt, or any deep sadness literally fragments your internal hardware. Sadness creates missing puzzle pieces in your soul's circuitry. When you allow yourself to stay in low-power modes of grief or frustration, you are actively disabling your own high-level features. But as we saw with the incredible phrase, Vatichi Ruach Yaakov, restoring your inner joy physically repairs your connection. Joy acts as the ultimate network optimizer, taking all those fragmented pieces and locking them right back into place.
Which brings us to our final takeaway in Section 6, dwelling in complete harmony.
If you remember the numbers game from earlier, the number 10 is the ultimate goal here. In Kabbalistic mechanics, 10 represents a complete, perfect system of Sephirotic operating with absolute 100% integrity. In a state of 10, nothing can be added and nothing can be subtracted. It's flawless. It is the perfect balance required for the Shekhinah to finally say, yes, I will rest here. This is exactly what Jacob achieved when his spirit lived again. He returned from the fragmented, broken state of 2 all the way back to the complete, fully operational, and perfect 10.
So, I want to leave you with a thought to provoke some introspection today. What lingering sadness might be keeping your own soul running in a low power mode, and what is one single thing you can do right now to restore your joy and reboot your system? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Part S. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.